Hello, it's official. I hate badgers. I took those bags of guinea pig bedding and put them in the sweet corn cage, figuring that if they couldn't get in to eat the sweet corn, they wouldn't get in to the guinea pig bedding. And look, they managed to pull one through from under there, reach in, get one in from under there and pull it. The others are okay, but yeah, they only made a mess of this one, but they couldn't get to the rest of them, so I'll put some stones here tonight just in case they decide to come back, and I'll get rid of this, put it in the compost. Bloody nuisances. They're just there to annoy me now. Anything I do, they just come and spoil. Yeah. And this comfrey is mostly doing okay. Then I looked and I thought, there's some missing. And when I looked, trying not to get stung by nettles, you can see that something is chewing on the comfrey. Ladybird's getting it on. But yeah, something's definitely having a chew on the comfrey, which I've never heard of, because nothing eats comfrey. And I was telling one of the allotment holders, and she said, oh yeah, comfrey, nothing ever eats comfrey. The other thing that nothing ever eats is Jerusalem artichokes. And look, first thing I saw this morning when I came in, and you can see the glistening trails of slugs. So they're having a go, they're ready. Jerusalem artichokes, they're eating everything. Oh, it's going to be a really bad year. I have a feeling it's going to be a really bad year. This fence that I put up for the allotment, but obviously it's not proper fence yet because it's not connected up, but it's tied to this and it's being held up there, and it's resting on bricks at the moment till I fix the shed, and then this can go in its rightful place and be connected to the new shed. But until then, I'll just put this in like this for now. I put a little bit of a metal trellis here, so I'm going to put one nasturtium there and one nasturtium there. This one will have this trellis to climb up, and this one will go up the, if you look, there are gaps, so it should be able to hold on to it. So I'm going to do that and bring you back. Well, it's another scorching hot day, and yesterday I had to go and didn't get around to filming what I'd done. I put in the nasturtiums, one here and one there, and this one's got the trellis, and I've sort of gave it a head start, so this should go up the trellis, and that one should make it on its own, but we'll see. If it doesn't, I might need to put something in to give it a hand, but should be alright. The other thing is this that the badgers had got into. I've put in a load of stones and bricks and things here, and they've not been able to get back in, so that's good. And just to test it out, I put a little bit in here just on top of these potato tubs to see if they would give it a go, but this has stopped them, so I don't think there'll be a problem. Oh, whew, it's hot. I've only been here 5 minutes and I want to go and sit in the shade. Oh, it's another hot day. It's really hot, and the main job is going to be watering and feeding every single thing because everything is looking parched. Unfortunately, these radishes and the lettuces are fighting because I put the radishes in expecting them to grow fast and the lettuces to grow slowly, but the lettuces have romped away, so I think I'll have to thin out the radishes. I expected the slugs to thin them out, but they didn't. But we've had some flea beetle damage on it. But yeah, it's going to be a day of just watering, weeding and keeping my hat on. It's hot. And the greenhouse is ram-packed full. I can get much more in there. I mean, I've got a little bit of space there and a little bit of space there, but apart from that, it is ram-packed full. But hopefully in the next few days a few things can start going outside. And things like the courgettes are now permanently outside unless we get a cold night, then I'll take them into the greenhouse. Got a bug on the lens, so if you see a yeah, it's going to run across the lens. Right. Yes, what was I saying? Oh yes, it's just going to be watering, weeding, covering the ground, nothing exciting. Well, it pays to experiment. I put just a thin layer of the guinea pig bedding on here because it had sweet corn and sunflower seeds in it, and it's quite clear that something has been digging in there. So the rats have managed to get in through there. The chain link fencing won't protect the potatoes. Obviously there's no potatoes in there yet. I mean, there's the seed potatoes, but there's no fresh potatoes in there to attract them. So I put the guinea pig bedding in with a little bit of sweet corn and sunflowers mixed in to see if they would go for it, and they did, and they managed to get through. Little indents here as well. If I want my potatoes safe for the winter, I have to pick something finer, even finer than a chain link fence. I have to use some fine grade wire mesh to protect anything. Root veg like celeriac, swede, carrots, parsnips, potatoes, all of those, if they're on the allotment, they need fine mesh protection. This won't do the job. It stopped the badgers getting in. That's one thing, it stopped the badgers getting in, but the badgers don't eat the potatoes anyway. It's the rats and mice that go for the roots veg. I'll have to buy some fine mesh or sort something out at home. We are on the 13th of May, and look, we have got some tomatoes. Yeah! Hey! There's some more over there I can see through there. Through the jungle. There's some more over there. The aubergines are flowering nicely, so yeah, I think they'll do well. So here's hoping for a bountiful harvest this year. Right, it's looking like it's about to rain, so I'm going to record what I've done so far today, apart from pulling weeds and watering things. I've sorted out this area, which was a net, and before that it was a complete mess of privet hedge and rubbish. It's got to this stage, so I'm pleased with that. Let's start at this end. I've got 3 half barrels. Now these 2 hold water, and this one I need to plug this hole with something, and then the celery can sit in these because celery just drinks water. I don't know what it does with it. It just drinks water. So I can fill it and then not have to worry about it, because I put celery in shallow containers before, and within a few hours there's nothing in there. Don't know what it does with all the water, but it's a very thirsty plant. It's a bog plant, so it needs to be kept moist. And it doesn't mind its roots being kept wet. If I discover that it's a bit too wet and it doesn't like it, I can always come in and put a brick under these and raise the level a little bit so it's not in too deep. I can adjust that later. So that's this lot. Those pots behind them, they'll go. They're just old strawberry plants that never sent out any more runners, so they're for the compost. This end is going to be carrots in pots. I've sown 1 lot of carrots, and I'm about to sow another lot of carrots, and then next month another lot of carrots, and the month after that another 4 buckets, and by the time I get to here, this lot will be harvested and ready to go. So every month I can sow 4 buckets of carrots, and it should keep me going from spring into late autumn, early winter. And of course the last sown buckets in autumn can be picked up and put in the greenhouse. You know, they'll be protected from frosts. So I should get a good run of carrots this way, and of course in the spring the reverse applies, that I can start things off in the greenhouse. When the carrots are a bit grown, I can bring them out and they can stand a light freeze, so that's not a problem. So they're there. These pots behind them, I will, same time as I sow the carrots, I will sow spring onions. I may do that at home, put them into modules and then bring them in and plant them into pots, because the onions seem to be so temperamental these days that I've had a lot of problems with them. So I might start them off at home where I can control the conditions a bit better, and then I can bring the modules and put them into these little pots, and they will sit like that, and there will be a net that will go over the whole thing. Now I may attach it to these posts, we'll see. Some of them are a bit wobbly, but it is what it is. It's a lot better than it used to be. So I'll show you what's happening in this gap. Right, I've got 4 buckets here, a mixture of fish blood and bone and bone meal at the bottom, and the rest is compost and a bit of coffee chaff. So I've got the buckets ready for the carrots to be sown. There's a little bit of perlite in there just to improve the drainage. So once I've sown the carrots, and I'm going to be quick because it's starting to rain, I've got these plastic plates, and they're just the right size to cover that and hold it tight, so it's a good seal, especially when I put a brick on it, so there's no chance of mice and things going in there and causing havoc. So I'll sow the seeds and do that, and I can put them in the shed where they're safe and the conditions are a bit better, where the temperature's not going up and down quite as fast. But it's too dark in the shed for you to see that, so I brought things out here so you can see. Well, I thought the light would be better, but it's starting to rain, so I'm going to leave it for now. I think it's about time to wrap up and go home. And when the seeds in those 4 buckets have germinated and are up and growing, I can bring them here and put them in this space, and then next month I will do the same to these 4, and the month after that I will do the same to these 4, and I will sort out the onion buckets. But yeah, it's starting to drizzle, so I think I'm going to call it a day because it's getting dark as well. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I think it's time to go home.